money, money, Jordan Belford. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Sipping on Ciroc, trip 'em up.
What's going on, guys? So today is a video on my truck. Basically, I'm going to be answering top 5 questions that people have been asking me on my DMs, on my YouTube comments, stuff like that. So I just want to go ahead and kind of make a video for you guys to answer all the questions that, at least 5 questions that people have been asking me. So further ado, let's get into the video. People have been asking me is, how do I fit 37s on my truck? There is a lot of things that I've done to get that accommodated. The first thing I did is basically trim the firewall. I pushed it back just maybe about an inch or two just to clear it from turning and without rubbing. The second thing I did is I got Raptor suspension. So with the Raptor suspension, it pushes the wheels out about 3 inches more or less, depending on your wheel and tire offset. With my offset, I have a -12 and a 12.5-inch tire, which I think it converts to 305. That alone and the Raptor billet upper arms also helped. Basically, the upper arms push the wheel forward about an inch as well, so now I have more back clearance. So that's kind of one of the things I've done to help with the 37. Also, I have a ADD front bumper. Basically, that pushes the bumper out maybe about 3 inches. So that gives me a lot more room than the stock bumper. So it gives me more ground clearance, more aggressive, and I could put aftermarket Baja design lights on them as well. So that answers the first question. Hopefully I'll show you guys a little bit in more detail as far as what I did exactly and what I mean by that. So hope you guys enjoy.
I ain't gonna wait for nothing, cause that just ain't my style. Life couldn't get better, this gon' be the best day ever. If it ain't about a dream, then it ain't about me. Go a couple full weeks without a good night's sleep. Imagination, making musical creation. The journey that I'm facing, plus the paper that I'm chasing, got me crazy, half insane. And with the lames I see you hating, but there's nothing that you're changing. Thumbs up, I'm maintaining, no complaining when it's raining. I'll be in another zone, move out my mother's home to a world to call my own. I ain't gonna play around no more, find a difference from the ground and the floor. If we gotta fight, I'll be down for the war. Thumbs up, homie, I'll be sure. No matter where life takes me, find me with a smile. Pursuit to be happy, don't be laughing like a child. I never thought life would be this sweet. It got me cheesing from cheek to cheek, ay, ay. And I ain't gonna wait for nothing, cause that just ain't my style.
So the second question that people have been asking me, basically, what glass do I have? What glass I chose to go with. The front, I got a good deal, so I couldn't pass it up. I have a 5-inch, they're Fiberworks, 5-inch Fiberworks glass front fenders and a 3-inch bulge. So 3-inch bulge means that they raise up 3 inches and they're 5 inch wider than the stock F150. So with that being said, I got a good deal on them. I actually traded someone for some Baja design lights and it ended up working out for me. Just gotta get them painted. So. But in the rear, I have 5-inch as well, but it's McNeil. So McNeil is another company in San Diego. Shout out to them. I got I think it was a Labor Day discount. Took about a few months to actually produce, and then I drove down there on the weekend, picked them up, and I got them installed. So yeah, 5-inch in the front, 5-inch in the back, 5-inch Fiberworks up front in the fenders, and then 5-inch McNeil bed size in the back. So hopefully that answers your question. As far as installing, I didn't get it installed, so I took it to a buddy of mine, a shop, Ianwestfab. I'll put it on the description below. They do a really good job as far as just fabricating. They do bumpers, they do fiberglass install, they do paint. Shout out to them. They did a 1-day turnaround. It was really quick, really good job, and I would highly recommend if you're in SoCal, check them out.
Sometimes I'm feeling like I'm low, then I'm feeling high. Sometimes I think I gotta smoke just to get by. Sometimes I'm drinking, I ain't trying to let the song play. Sometimes I'm thinking and I'm worried about it all day. Sometimes I wanna just fly with no stress at all. Sometimes I hit the mall and ball and just spend it all. Sometimes I want a girlfriend, then I want a bitch. Sometimes I hate myself for saying all that dumb shit, but I ain't tripping, man. Sometimes I be feeling low, but what it is the stress of the unknown. Sometimes I look up in the mirror and I think I'm cool. Sometimes I look up in the mirror and feel like a tool. Sometimes I never wanna even get out of bed. Sometimes I'm thinking about the shit I heard that someone said. Sometimes I'm worried that my girl's gonna break it off. Sometimes I'm worried that she'll laugh when she take it off. But I ain't tripping, man, I'm living for the best for me. Sometimes I'm feeling like I got the wrong recipe, but if I let myself dwell on the dumb shit.
So the third question I've been getting asked a lot is basically what gears do I have on the rear end? Well, my truck is 4x4, so I basically have 456 gears in the front for the front differential, and the 456 gears in the rear, with also a limited slip differential from Yukon. So that alone helped my truck tremendously. Basically, I had like 330s or 331s from the stock factory, and with 37s and all that extra weight, I highly recommend for 56 gears. Even higher, you can go like a 488, even a 512. But 456 is kind of the sweet spot. It gives me good miles per gallon. It also gives more like torque in the low end, which I highly recommend, because when you're in the mud or the snow or stuck in a little spot, you can air down, but honestly the gears itself would help you get that truck, get you that lift, and get you that torque to get you out of those sticky situations. So I highly recommend it. Also have a AFE limited or AFE differential cover, which holds more fluid and also looks pretty badass. Supposedly it keeps it a little bit more cooler, I don't know, but it looks pretty good, and I highly recommend, if you're going a bigger tire size, is to re-gear and put a limited slip, that way both tires can spin. My truck came with an open differential, meaning one tire spins, and it looks funny when you try to do a burnout and stuff in front of a crowd or anything. So it also gives you more traction with the limited slip. So check if your truck is open diff. If it is, I highly recommend a limited slip. That way get both tires spinning, more traction on the turns, and it looks pretty badass when you try to do a burnout. So
Be playing tricks, but I think I'll get out of this. Yeah. Yo, shouts to my man Gruber, man.
So question number 4 is, what exhaust do I have? I have it's basically a 3-inch pipe. It's basically a straight pipe, no resonator. It does have a Corsa muffler, and then it goes over the axle and it goes straight down. So it's considered a axle dump exhaust. And I have a 5-liter truck. I have a cold air intake. It helps live with the noise. Stock headers, stock downpipes, or stock cats. And then no resonator, just Corsa muffler, straight pipe, 3-inch stainless, and an axle dump. So a lot of people have been asking me what happened to my Borla, what happened to my dual exhaust. I had a dual exhaust before, but I like the axle dump. It gives you more ground clearance in the rear end, and it gives a little bit more of a rumble. So.
I'm back for that sophomore slump. I'm back to doing what I want. The summer was kinda cool, but I've been waiting for this year to come. They taking shots at me, I'm just taking shots of some rum. I know this shit'll be fun, cause all the homies are back here. Facing bottles, we raging harder than last year. I got a new fake, they won't know I'm 19. Katy Perry shit, baby, this is just a teenage dream. Ain't about to pass all my class with flying colors, or just get some nice double D's underneath the covers. But either way, I guess you can call it passing. I'm back.
So as far as suspension up front, I have everything in Gen 2 Ford Raptor, and I believe that's from the 2015 year and the 2020 year. Correct me if I'm wrong. But as far as suspension, it's I cut the coil buckets off and I put brand new coil buckets in. Also have billet RPG control arms from the Gen 2 Raptor, Gen 2 tie rods, Gen 2 lower control arms, Gen 2 CV axles since it's 4x4. Also have a Gen 2 brake lines up front. And then obviously the Gen 2 shocks with the iBox springs gives it about 2-inch level. So everything up front is pretty much a Gen 2 Raptor. And my truck's not a Raptor, so I have a 2018 F150 to be correct. And what I did is I cut the coil buckets off, weld the new ones in. The company is called Crazy House Customs. So if you're willing to cut your F150 up and get a little bit more wheel travel, and you know, bolt on everything Gen 2 Raptor, you're more than welcome to. That's what I did, and it performs pretty good compared to stock. So I highly recommend it if you guys are planning to do that. And that's pretty much what it comes down to up front. Rear suspension goes, it's Gen 2 Raptor as well. Everything bolts right in, factory location. Like I said, I have a 2018 F150, and I put Gen 2 Ford Raptor bypass shocks in the rear on their factory. Also have a Deaver leaf spring and RPG shackles. As far as the leaf springs go, it's a progressive leaf spring, which basically gives you a little bit more travel and more of a plush feel off-roading compared to OEM. I think they're a linear spring stock. So the progressive leaf pack, it has like 20 more leaves, and also have an RPG shackle in the back that gives me a little bit more wheel travel, and I got rid of the factory blocks. So it's sitting a little lower in the rear, which I kind of like, a little pre-winter stance. But yeah, so leaf springs, they're Deaver, the company's Deaver, have Gen 2 rear shocks, and then RPG shackles with extended brake lines, because that more wheel travel, chances are factory brake lines can kind of bend, stretch, and possibly break. So last thing you want is to have no brakes in the rear. So hopefully that answers your question.
You should know now, you should know now, you should know now, no, now, no, no, yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. Hey. I haven't gone up in a while, but she think getting high and fucking's romantic. We could bust a move and we ain't gotta go dancing. Drinking something old as fuck, I'm on the grown man shit. Got me on the grown man shit. Got me on the champagne. I've been on the shits, yeah, you been on the same thing. Got me on my flex now, and you been on the same ride. I got a hotel suite, you can slide on through. Hard days, soft sheets, you can climb on too. We was jumping out of plane to jumping off a boat. Same night, same shit, 'cause we be jumping off the most. And if you want me to stay, then tell me to stay. You know, if I'm running away, I'll show you.